What's up, guys? Oh, I love all your cheers. Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. Happy Sunday. This is Halloween weekend. Hence why Frederick in chat says, let's just boo instead. Yeah, so I was just kind of like making this joke off the episode. I was saying, you know how like on talk shows, like when you go the warmer upper for the audience, they're always like, hey, you know, just like be really excited when the host comes out. You know, I need one of those audience clap cheer whistle buttons. We could turn into a sitcom right then and there. Anyways, yeah, happy Halloween. I hope that you guys had a great Halloween, honestly. I had a party last night. I talked a little bit about it. And, you know, just be safe, right? Just be safe, have fun, do some wild, freaky stuff, do whatever makes your heart happy. Just do it with consent. All right. So today we have two wonderful topics for the tech podcast. Let's just jump right into it. Check this out. We got the first topic. Man sells energy drink made from Amazon delivery driver's pee. Yeah, it's a real thing. And when I first saw it, I couldn't believe that it was done. But then when I realized who did it, it all made sense. And the second topic, because we've been talking about generative AI pretty much every other week, artists have finally found a way to sabotage their art to disrupt AI training. More about that. But, so, when it comes to energy drinks, it's kind of a booming business, right? It's been a business that has grown tremendously. There are lots of variety of energy drinks. I personally, the first one I've heard of was Red Bull. Is Red Bull the first energy drink? I'm not sure. I don't think it was, but it was the first truly popularized one. And it has lasting power. It's still one of the most top-rated energy drinks. And I feel that's due to a great combination of flavor, effectiveness, marketing, and just, you know, straight brand name. They do a lot of sponsorships, and it's hard to break into a market. There's like new energy drinks that spawn from that. You got like Monster, you got Rockstar, which used to be my favorite. And this new energy drink coming out is not really going to change my favorite energy drink. Let's see. Let's see what you said. Z says, oh, Z has a juicy comment. Juicy comment, Z. Oh, technical difficulties. Give me a moment. So yeah, like, let me just pop that up. So Z in chat, if this works, then it works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. Oh, whoops. Oh, yeah. So Z in chat says, not gonna lie, worked as an Amazon delivery driver. I had at least one piss bottle because nowhere to go. Fuck. I'm so glad you really shared that, because that's what this is. This is about the workload of Amazon workers where they do not have enough time in the workday to meet their quotas, and therefore any breaks that they would take would cause them to fall behind in their work. And what happens to the bottom tier, like the bottom 10% of workers? Well, they get written up, they get let go. Like, so you got to meet these demands of the jobs. So this YouTuber, Ooba Butler, you may have heard of him. He's done pranks like his most famous one was the fake restaurant prank where he pretended to be a really high quality hoity-toity restaurant, and he lied his way to the top of the restaurant like ratings for TripAdvisor. So he conducted this experiment talking about how these Amazon workers are overworked and they're strained for time. So since Z is blessed and cursed to have worked in the industry, he's chiming in and he says, if you're wondering why the packages are getting thrown, there's not enough time. And I could imagine that. It sounds ridiculous, but imagine this, right? If the difference between climbing up and down the truck, right, is only like 2 seconds, but you have to do that over the course of a day like 60 times, that's another like 2 minutes. And according to how Amazon tracks their workers, each driver is being tracked by dispatchers, right? So the dispatchers are basically their supervisors for the day. I am not exactly how sure the relationship is. Do you have the same supervisor every day, or maybe they just deal with a certain region? But one of the things that is I am clear about is that dispatchers track how many packages you deliver, how many, and how long you've been working. From these 2 points of data, they can tell you, oh, Charlotte, you are behind 3 packages. By 2 p.m., you would have had, I don't know, like 40 deliveries, and you are missing like, 3. So you're at 37. Like, they track it to the hour. And to have this level of like feedback and monitoring, it creates a lot of undue pressure on their workers. Like, the workers already know that they need to just get as much stuff out and as soon as possible, right? They know it's obviously best not to waste time. So let's see. Z says, the dispatcher I work for was also pretty shady. They went out of business, made a new business, dispatcher, DSP. What's DSP? They went out of business, made a new business, and reused all the same trucks that needed repairs that got ignored. Delivery service partner. Ah, thank you. They reused all the same trucks that needed repairs that got ignored and reset in the system. That's really awful. I almost feel like that's a norm, though, right? Like, they're just like flipping their trucks. It's a sub company that works for the parent, Amazon. I understand. I get that now. Thank you for clarifying. So, amongst workers being like strained, you got like apparently like trucks in some cases just not being fully functional. Now, Amazon has released their own trucks, and I expect that to be maintained properly. But when it comes to all this stuff, right? Drivers having to pee in bottles just to make time. According to Butler, like these stories, they have been suppressed by Amazon, and Don't get me wrong. No one's proud of having their workers do this, right? Being not forced. Amazon has never explicitly said that, oh, you should take a bathroom break in a bottle. But the timings, the margins are so tight with the time that the worker makes a decision to do that. And it's degrading. So this is where Ooba Butler, who is a prankster, made a political statement about the work conditions for Amazon workers. He created an energy drink, which he has collected from the drivers. So, according to this story, every Amazon warehouse that he has worked in, outside of the warehouse, on the side of the road, there were bottles of urine. And these are from the drivers who have thrown them out just as they're like driving, or they pull over and they throw it out, because Amazon workers also get fined if not fined, but they get written up for having pee in a bottle in their truck. So if their supervisor finds it, they get written up for it, right? Because it's unsanitary, of course. But, you know, so they have to get rid of it somehow. Here is how this new energy drink looks. It's called Released Energy. And it is truly made from Amazon drivers' pee. So after he collected the urine from the drivers, he set up these collection bins, which is kind of vile, but where the bottles could be stored with said substance. He branded it, packaged it, and his plan was to sell it on the Amazon marketplace. So when it comes to selling products on Amazon marketplace, you know, Amazon has like a lot of totally random items for sale. But some categories have multiple brands and multiple vendors selling similar products, but with like different logos and different branding on it, right? So in all these categories, each item that is being sold is filed into one of these categories where, let's say if you made an energy drink, you would be categorized under energy drink. And therefore, your business will be compared to every other energy drink business. And that's a very difficult task, right? Because what Butler wanted to do was to push the product to where it is the top of a category, so that product could be recommended by Amazon's algorithm. The algorithm highlights the best seller, right? So to categorize the energy drink, let me guess, Lois? What's Lois? LOAS? So the best way to top a category was to join a category where there's not a lot of competition. So he wrote an email and he contacted Amazon. That Lois is a country in Asia. Not Lewis. What? I don't quite get it. Yeah, I don't really get it. Laos? Oh, Laos. No, he didn't outsource the work. No, he didn't. That's actually Good question. I mean, he collected the urine from like like from the, I think it was like the London warehouse area. He's been to Australia. He's been around to like just check how drivers handled the situation. They collected that urine. Oh, I'm Chinese. Um so um so anyways, the let me get my train of thought back. So ultimately, he categorized this energy drink, instead of an energy drink, as a bitter lemon drink, because he can't compete with Red Bulls. He can't compete with Rockstar Energy. So he went out of his way to recategorize it so he has a better chance of selling it. So ultimately, he was able to get it in the bitter lemon category, where through friends and family and people who are into this prank, starts to buy the product. So he got the branded energy drink. He has sellers. So with like a huge spike in review spamming and purchases, he was able to get it to the number one seller for bitter lemon. And he actually beat out Schweppes, which is within the bitter lemon category. So an actual brand he was able to beat out by swinging it with votes, purchases, and reviews. According to Butler, this whole process was surprisingly easy. And it required not much effort on his part. He just got some people to buy the product. So this is what Amazon had to say. We have industry-leading tools to prevent genuinely unsafe products being listed, and we monitor our stores for genuine product safety concerns. Any sellers who circumvent these policies will face action. Speaking primarily about Butler's situation, because selling an energy drink made of urine is it's not good for anyone. It's not good for Amazon's branding. It's not good for our customers. But he was able to do it. In fact, no real customers bought it, but they have shown interest. Nothing has been shipped out, and all refunds were issued. So it was a political statement, and it was designed to get people's attention to the situation behind Amazon drivers. Amazon said it was like a crude stunt, and it is crude. And he is a little crude in his investigative reporting, but that has, I mean, it's something that actually really happens, right? So this whole story inspired me to make my own product. Now, it's not going to be an energy drink based on urine, but I thought about doing something a little different. This is ShellShockers. It's a product that I just felt like recycled some of the content, that some of the waste that we have created. In Butler's case, he recycled urine. In my case, I recycle eggshells. Because whenever we make eggs, we throw out the eggshells. There are very few times where we save them. And with ShellShockers, you could get your daily calcium intake met just by eating some of my ShellShocker chips. What sort of nutrient content? It's primarily calcium, and each eggshell is approximately 6 grams in mass, in weight. And it has each, in those 6 grams, 2,200 grams of calcium is in there. And actually, eggshells are used for calcium supplements. It is used as like a treatment. So it actually makes sense to process these. Z says if you grind it up or whatever, I don't really see why not. No, I mean, if I were to reprocess it, that's why I call them chips. I wouldn't have to grind it up. I wouldn't have to turn it to powder. Yeah, it's high in calcium and low in cost. Hey, cutting costs is what we're all about. That's what this whole story is about. And that's what a lot of businesses are about. If you compared some of the snack foods from now to like 10 years ago, you'll see it's like dramatically different in volume, in price. The most notable one was the post-2020 snacks. Did you see the difference in the bags? They got significantly smaller. The portions were significantly smaller. I think it came back up a bit because they were very dramatic in some of the cost-cutting measures. But, you know, I think our voice was heard and they kind of filled it back up. But those bags of chips were very empty post-2020. What if we start getting TikTokers to eat raw eggs? Just the whole thing. You want stronger bones, right? Crunch this egg. You know, it's not surprising. We're going on a tangent here, but I was on the subway. I was on the subway like yesterday, and I heard an announcement. Please stay inside the subway car. Riding on the subway, on the outside of the subway car, is like no joke. They said, no matter what social media tells you, please be safe and ride responsibly. So I don't know if this is a new thing. I mean, riding outside the subway car has been a thing way before TikTok. But I think it has made a resurgence to the point where they actually have to state it publicly on the speaker. Rom Hook says, those bags of chips were damn empty before. And they were, but wow. I wish I kept a bag of chips in 2019 and not 2019. Yeah, 2019, 2020, or 2021. Because then you could see the dramatic difference between the volume. It's probably because the Spider-Man 2 game, it's popular. Is that what all it takes? Is that all it takes? So simple. It's the damn gamers and millennials ruining everything. It's not even millennials, dude. It's not exactly Zoomers either. It's kind of Zoomer, and I forgot the new term. There's like a term for like younger. I don't know if it's official yet, but it's like, it's something like Zoomer. There's something younger. What's up, 8.5? No, we were talking about, our first topic today was talking about released energy, an energy drink being used to make a political statement about Amazon's working conditions. That energy drink was made from the urine of the Amazon drivers. It was sold in the store, but nothing has been shipped out. Amazon was not happy about it. And they definitely tightened their forgot the word, their surveying of like new products. But you see how many fake products there are on Amazon. It's not that hard to like just set up a shop and sell something, right? Google tells you it's Gen Alpha for the younger audience. Rom says, is Pringles doing the same? I haven't bought those in a while. I haven't bought Pringles in a while either. Okay, so there is a reason why the bags of chips are empty, if you aren't aware, right? Like the bags of chips, right? Like my brand, the ShellShockers, eggshell chips, they're filled with air to use as packaging, like safety like packaging foam. It's a packaging buffer so that when you throw the bag of chips around, it doesn't shatter every single chip. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happened. So, we went on this discussion and I made up my own fake product. I think eggshell chips could really be a thing if you like grind it down into powder and you sprinkle it into the chips, but you'll take shattered chips over no chips. So bad excuse. Yeah. Some companies who have made those bags of chips with a lot of air in them has gone beyond like having that buffer, that air buffer to protect the chips from being broken. They have put a lot less, and their excuse was to keep things safe. Turn into powder and snort it. I mean, what you do with my fake fictional product is fine by me. I hold no responsibility. Once you buy my bag of eggshell chips for $99 a bag, you could do whatever you want with it. So maybe ShellShockers could partner with Cricket Protein. That's why I would do it. Yeah, I'll make a partnership. Anyways, yeah, so I kid around about this whole release energy thing. The main story is that Amazon workers are overworked. And it is really difficult to get a union with Amazon. But if you want to look into supporting the unions and knowing more about them, I put the link here in chat. You can also check out the link in the description if you're not watching live. So, pranks aside, the fact that he was able to pull this off is a huge, huge deal. So hopefully, if you currently work for Amazon or you know someone who has, or you used to work for Amazon, you can do your best to echo this message of supporting Amazon labor unions, because those conditions are really rough. I would not want to work with a timer right in front of my face. Soon enough, there will be a brand of chips that's not empty. Advertise the crap out of it, oversell, and sell it overpriced. There has been a union, but only one union coming out of Amazon. And it's tough. It's in Staten Island in New York. I have not heard of any other unions being established under Amazon. And for good reason. It's if these claims on the Amazon work experience are true, and there's lots of rumors and there's facts thrown in, then it's not going to look very good. There's going to be a lot of lawsuits. There's going to be a lot of changes to how Amazon does things. I'm more, Frederick says, I'm more of they may have better prices, but no way I support their slavery. It's not slavery because they have a choice to work somewhere else. So, but I understand what you're implying. Z, who previously had worked with Amazon, and said there's too much of a revolving door to even begin that type of conversation with the workers. And that's kind of true, right? Most people who can't handle it, they just leave. And handle it doesn't mean they're better or they're stronger. They're just putting up with things they really shouldn't be putting up with. But yeah. So that is, I guess, the moral of the story. Do what you can to support the people who provide you the packages extremely fast. That's all. So the next time there's like a worker who comes to me and delivers me a package, I'll give them a bottle of water. Not only so that they have something to drink, but they also have a bathroom to use. Thank you. Sorry. Sorry, but not sorry. All right, and second topic for today, artists sabotage their art to disrupt AI training. So we talk a lot about AI. We talk a lot about generative content and how a lot of artists are being replaced. They're being replaced in gaming. They're being replaced in less complicated forms of art, user interface work. And they're being replaced by AI. AI, the very AI who learns from artists in these UX positions, in these UI positions, in these game development positions. And in many cases, the people that have their work being taken advantage of by the learning algorithms of the AI, they're not being compensated. We all know this. They're not being compensated. They're not opting in. And in like a previous episode, we talked about Photoshop. Not the last episode, because we also talked about Photoshop, but a while back when Photoshop was developing their AI to generate content. And where did they get that data set from? They learned off of Adobe's Photoshop stock photos. You know, the stock photos that you see like Shutterstock, where it's like a generic image used to like fill like news content, that type of stuff, like the B-roll. All those episodes, all those images, all the video was used to train Photoshop's AI. And because of that, Photoshop's AI model, right, how they are rapidly growing in power, they're also able to take away jobs from more artists. So I took to Amazon. I keep saying Amazon. I took to Adobe's Photoshop, and this is a sample of how far they have come. This is actually 2 generated images. The first one was I asked the AI to generate brunch in New York City. So what did they show? They showed a rooftop with food on the table. And then I also generated a picture called like cat eating brunch, right? So when I said cat eating brunch, it basically just gave me a cat, and I removed the food that was under there, and I superimposed it behind this secondary image. Z says, I'd like to keep it janky, like pepperoni hug spot. What do you mean by that? Anyways, while we wait for that explanation. So, there's a new tool, though, to combat this generative AI training. And artists will be able to use this in the future. It's called Nightshade. Z says, the pepperoni hug spot. It's an AI generated commercial for a fictional pizza place. Pizza Magic. Oh, we've seen some AI generated commercials. They're oddly like still and they move very slightly. I think it's all image generation. We're not on high levels of video generation yet. Not like full video generation. There's deep fakes, of course, but that's like modifying a part of the video. We're not like generating the whole image yet. So this new tool called Nightshade, it was developed by a professor at the University of Chicago. His name is Ben Dow. He leads a team that built a system to scramble image generators, like Stable Diffusion, by screwing up their outputs. And how he does it is by creating poisoned samples of art and submitting it to the AI. So far, the AI does not know how to distinguish truth and falsehoods. They just return the most iterated, the most repeated content. So this professor modified the results by submitting data that looks just like this. Take a look. So, this is the type of poison data that Nightshade will upload to the AI learning models. On the left, it says a dog on the grass. And obviously, that's a cat. It's not a dog. Another image they would submit is animal art dog pencil drawings, showing more cats. And then lastly, dog digital art, showing more cats. So over a series of poisoned images being submitted to the learning models, they were able to distort the results. With the more poisoned data sets they upload, the more distorted the results are. This next image is going to illustrate a lot of the differences in the art over a series of different prompts. All right, it's going to be a little confusing, but I will walk you through it. So take a look at this image. So at the top, this is these are the prompts that are generated without a modified generation model, right? So it's a clean model. When you type dog, you get the dog in the upper left. When you type car, you get the car, handbag, hat, fantasy art, cubism, cartoon, concept art, right? But after submitting 50 poison samples, you get a little distortion. The cars look a little bit different. The handbag looks a little different. The hats look a little weird. After 100 samples, this art is starting to look more and more primitive generative art. So the cat's face is, well, supposed to be a dog face, but it's more like a cat. The car is looking a little more like a cow. So I am not sure why they chose turning cars into cows, but it seems to work. They're turning hats into cakes. They might I don't know, like the dogs to cats, I can understand. The hats to cakes, I can understand, right? Because it's the same shape. But the cars to a cow, I feel like that's more of a stretch. The handbags are turned into a toaster. The fantasy art becomes pointillism, which is another art form. For those not like really inclined, it's, it's still kind of passable, but you got cubism turning into anime. I wonder what anime will turn into. I don't think anime is going to turn into cubism, right? Because if you just inverse it, right? If you recognize that whenever you say dog, it gives you a cat, why don't you just say cat to get a dog? So they have to make the cat turn into like an airplane. And then the airplane turn into like a gopher. And then the gopher turns into like, ShellShockers, eggshell chips, ShellShockers, eggshell chips. The cartoons turn into impressionism and the concept art turns into abstract. Anime will turn into Sonic fan art. No. The 50 points dog will give you nightmares. I knew it. That's why I don't like Minecraft. Yeah, like, so this is actually a pretty big deal, right? So, in order to poison a language model enough, they do have to submit like 300 images. They have to submit a lot. One of the best parts about this is because of how language models work, when Nightshade corrupts an image, let's say you submit a whole bunch of poison for the car category. I didn't want to say dog because, we don't poison dogs here. I'm a fox today, but I still represent the doggos. We poison cars, right? So in order to poison cars, the language model will also be poisoned when we look up words like sedan. It will poison words that is like supercar. It will poison words that is like a coupe. So associating words will also be poisoned. Right? So if you poison hippo, you poison hippopotamus. You get the idea. So they wouldn't have to poison every single word, but it would poison a particular object or topic. So let's see what was said. Frederick says, I really don't see the point of this. All the professor did was going up to 3 years old and saying the cat go moo 100 times, and the result was the child said the cat go moo. That's basically it. In fact, that is the most apt way to describe this whole scenario. I'm so glad you shared this. That sums up what this experiment is. So far, the AI cannot distinguish what is truth and what is not. They just iterate what is the most popular opinion about something. So until the AI can learn how to discern what is factual, what is in jest, what is trolling, then they are susceptible to poison. Of course, you can have someone correct the statements made by uploaded arts and works, but that at that point it's nearly a person just programming the whole AI. If you have to review so many samples. Let's see. The two cats in suits look super cute. We talking about this one? Yeah, this one is really cute. I'm sorry. They're not cats. They're not cats. They're called dogs. Get it right. Get it right, Rom. So yeah, this is a good thing. An artist by the name of Autumn Beverly, she has said, "I'm just really grateful that we have a tool that can help return the power back to the artists for their own work." But some people have said it's kind of too late. The art that is already being stolen has already trained the AIs. On the other hand, new art apps and programs and services, they can be disrupted with this new training method. But until it's fully released, because this is still in peer review, we won't see this poison data set or poisoning method being released to artists. So, some companies, though, have offered artists a new way to have their art excluded from AI training data. This isn't the only way to protect artists, but the ones offered by certain companies is not very great. Because, for example, OpenAI, they said there's a new way for artists to opt out and have their art not appear in the DALL-E data sets. So that means, according to OpenAI, any piece of art is automatically opted in until you say opt out. That's kind of like a new social media platform has been created. And when you go in to make your account, you see your account's already there. You have to go there and tell them, take my social media platform down, like take this account down. That's opting out in response to their auto opt-in. So, that just doesn't make it, make sense. Rom says, have you listened to any of the AI voice audiobooks? I wonder if that also gets poisoned. That would be another story. Unfortunately for like a lot of celebrities, their voices are already out there in movies, in interviews. Like it's hard to pull that data. They're already compromised. And for people who are not as famous yet, maybe there can be something that protects them in the future, but it's so hard to protect people from reproducing your work. That's really it. That's the problem. The plagiarism is a problem. Because if your job is to release work to the public, how do you make sure it goes in the right hands? You can't. That's the problem. That doesn't mean you don't try. And, it's great that this professor thought of this idea to tell the baby that the cat goes moo. Wonderful analogy, by the way. Once again, like that's all we can do for now. So we'll see if this product gets released. If we get more sophisticated ways to disrupt AI. But for me, I'm just a bystander. I recognize it could be a problem. I know it is a problem. I also get some more benefits from it than the average person. When it comes to, like, if I need to do some art creation, I could use AI. I don't. So far, I don't. But in the case I do need in the future, yeah, that'd be great. Sokro says, oh, this is interesting. There are a lot of anime character AI voice skits on TikTok and IG. Yeah, that's some funny and some are really out there. I have an idea what you mean by really out there. So, so yeah, there you go. Yeah, those voice artists, that character brand, it's all like taken, right? Like it really just sucks. I don't want to say like just lay down and die, right? Like just let these things happen to you if you are a creative. I think we should, as creatives, as a creative myself, I think we should find a way to find a compromise where at least I get compensated, right? If someone wants to copy my anime character that I made or something. And that's really just really difficult. All right, guys. So yeah, that's the podcast for today. We talked about peeing in a bottle to create energy drinks. And that's an Amazon problem, not really anyone else's problem. Whether Amazon will change that in the future, and give their workers a little more leeway, it remains to be seen. The energy drink, if you are interested, has been pulled. So don't go to Amazon looking for released energy and trying to buy some. I know, it might be a fetish, but, like just don't. Just don't. Don't try. Oh, shit. Z says they just need R. Kelly to be their spokesman. Fuck. That's huge. It's a huge burn. So that's release energy. And we talked about artists poisoning AI data sets to corrupt some of the returned images. We got dogs turning into cats, cars turning into cows. And the best part is, the best part of it all, I will be releasing ShellShockers, my eggshell potato chips. Well, eggshell egg chips. That's what I'll call it. Thank you guys for watching. This show was a little rough, but thank you guys for tuning in. Today we did start a little later. As usual, the show could not happen without you guys. You guys make it a lot more exciting. Thank you for sharing your work experience with Amazon. Thank you for your comments and analogies, because it really just helped reframe everything for us. Yeah, so if you're going out for Halloween, have a good Halloween. Don't party too hard. Don't get spanked. And we'll roll into a gaming stream. Thank you, guys.